I posted a photo of my son, who had just become a PhD in archaeology, on Facebook. I captioned it, 2 years apart. I miss my son. Suddenly, a woman appeared in the comments, angrily shouting, "What kind of thing are you? Why are you posting pictures of my son? Do you have no shame?" I was completely confused and messaged her privately, asking if she had the wrong person. My son is an archaeologist, and at such a young age, he's already won numerous awards. But then she took a screenshot of my private message and posted it along with a bunch of photos of her and my son to prove their relationship. Who the hell are you trying to impersonate? Don't even look in the mirror. How could you possibly have such an outstanding son? Netizens flooded the comments section, mocking me. People nowadays are so deluded, even claiming to be someone's mother. What a joke! I turned to look at my son, who had just walked in, covered in dust from his work. I slapped him on the forehead. Stinky kid. Where did you pick up another mom? Chapter 1. I was sorting through some photos at home when I found the picture of my son from 2 years ago when he became a PhD in archaeology. Feeling nostalgic, I snapped the photo and posted it on Facebook, with the caption, 2 years apart. I miss my son. I don't have many followers on Facebook, just a few people I interact with regularly through likes and comments. The comment section was peaceful. Your son is so talented. He's so handsome too. I'm guessing he looks just like you. A beautiful mom. I smiled and exchanged a few polite words before turning off Facebook and continuing my work. But when I checked my computer again, there were hundreds of new comments. My private messages were flooded with 999 plus notifications. The most popular comment was from a user named Proud Woman, who wrote, "What kind of thing are you? Why are you posting pictures of my son? Do you have no shame? Are you crazy to pretend to be a mother? Can't you just have your own kid?" Attached was a photo of her with a young man. He looked so much like my son. Even the mole at the corner of his eye was exactly in the same spot. The comments below went wild. What kind of person does this? Pretending to be someone's kid's mother? Don't you know, this is no ordinary kid. He's the youngest archaeologist. Someone at the name, A Common Little Stone. I was completely baffled and immediately clicked on the link. A Common Little Stone, his profile picture was my son's? When did he get a Facebook account? I had no idea. His account only had a few posts related to his archaeological work. I quickly skimmed through them and exited, then went to check out Proud Woman's profile. It showed she had tens of thousands of followers, and in her bio, it said, "Mother of an archaeologist." I was even more confused. Did she know my son? Or had my son taken her as a godmother? No way. My son wouldn't do something like that. The flood of comments from netizens in her comments section praised her. Is your son the one who won international awards for his paper, Alex? Such an honor to meet the mother of an archaeologist. Your son is so handsome. Are you looking for a daughter-in-law, ma'am? I'm interested. I heard their team is amazing. They even filled in a historical gap in a city. With such a handsome and talented young man, I'd love to give birth to him. Although I was angry that this person was impersonating me, I was still quite pleased to see the praise for my son and his entire team. But I immediately sent a private message to Proud Woman to verify the truth. My son is an archaeologist. Do you know him? Why do you have photos with him? And why do you call yourself his mother? Proud Woman didn't respond. Instead, she took a screenshot of my private message and posted it along with several pictures. Who the hell are you to impersonate me? Don't even look in the mirror. How could you give birth to such an outstanding son? I didn't plan to pay attention to you, but you shamelessly sent me a private message to question me. How dare you? The photos were of her with my son. Some were of them smiling at the camera together. Some were of my son working, with her secretly taking selfies of them. The last one was a selfie she took just a few minutes ago. The background showed my son resting on the couch, his eyes closed. As she said, I couldn't provide a recent photo of my son because he had gone to a remote area for archaeology 2 years ago. The signal there was poor, and I hadn't been able to contact him for a long time. That's why I felt especially nostalgic when I came across this old photo today. While I was still confused, the post quickly went viral. Hashtag fighting over archaeologist's son hashtag and hashtag impersonating someone as a mother is shameful hashtag quickly trended. The hashtags exploded with even more comments. Numerous onlookers eagerly mentioned me. Such a talented young man. No wonder everyone wants to be his mom. At Apple Pie, you've got some nerve pretending to be someone's archaeologist mom. What's wrong with you? At Apple Pie, how could you pretend to be someone's mom when their real mom has proof with photos? You should be ashamed. Trying to play the game, but got caught by the real person. So embarrassing. At Apple Pie, you should apologize to a proud woman for trying to steal her son. Shameless. The comments made my hands tremble with anger. I quickly typed furiously, demanding, "Who are you? Why do you have all these photos? Why are you calling yourself his mom?" But my private messages wouldn't send. She had blocked me. Chapter 2. I sat on the bed, completely bewildered. I immediately dialed my son's number, but as expected, it was off. He must still be in the mountains, where the signal is poor. I hung up the phone and started to think, could it be that my ex-husband, who I haven't been with for years, found a new woman? Is that why this woman is calling Alex her son? I was filled with doubt and quickly called my ex-husband. It was late at night, but he answered the phone promptly. "Laura, what's up? Why are you calling me now?" I didn't have time for small talk and directly asked, "Have you remarried?" There was a pause on the other end, and his tone was surprised. "No, I haven't. How could I remarry? You know I still." "All right, never mind." I hung up before he could finish. I glanced at my computer screen and thought to myself, it's probably just a bunch of foolish netizens. There's no need to waste time arguing with them. I'll deal with it once I get in touch with my son. A few days later, I accidentally stumbled upon the woman's Livestream. She was shamelessly promoting products under the title of Mother of an Archaeologist. And in the background, there was a photo of my son. This was unacceptable. My son has always been low-key. How could she exploit his image like this? And she wasn't even his mother. I immediately went to the comments section and confronted her. "You're a fraud. Why are you pretending to be my son's mother? Why are you using his photo to sell products here?" I repeatedly copied and sent multiple messages, flooding the screen. When the woman saw it, her face immediately changed, and she shouted, "This is the woman pretending to be my son's mother." She actually followed me from Facebook to my Livestream. The fans and bystanders in the Livestream went crazy, spamming the screen and attacking me. "How dare you be so shameless? Alex already posted on Facebook supporting his real mom. You've gone crazy, following her to the Livestream like a mad dog. There has to be a limit to riding on other people's fame." I was completely confused. I quickly exited the Livestream and opened Facebook. To my shock, I found that the account that seemed to be my son's had posted something the night before. "A common little stone at Apple Pie. Maybe you didn't mean it, but please stop pretending to be my mom. I only have one mom, and that's her at proud woman." This was definitely not my son. Absolutely not. I clenched my fists in anger, re-entered the Livestream, and demanded to know, "What is your game? You not only pretended to be me but also had someone pretend to be my son and post on Facebook. What do you want?" On the screen, the woman, now looking furious, clutched her chest. "My God, are you delusional? Even if my son is amazing, you can't try to get close to him." She then pretended to cough, acting as if she was seriously upset. At this point, the Livestream audience exploded. This woman is really mentally unstable. Maybe her son died, so she's been trying to pretend to have another. I think she's not just lost her son, but her whole family. Someone in the comments led a campaign, spamming the screen. "Friends, let's flood the comments. Apple Pie is shameless. Imposter. Go die." Suddenly, the entire comment section was flooded with insults. Not only were they slandering me, but they were also cursing my son. I furiously typed responses to fight back, but every time I tried to defend myself, a wave of comments pushed mine down. I was shaking with rage. Meanwhile, the woman on the screen, who called herself Alex's mom, was somehow back to her cheerful self, giggling uncontrollably. "Thank you so much, everyone. We're so lucky to have fans like you. Let's not pay attention to her and continue with our next product. This dinosaur excavation toy is something my son has loved since childhood, so it's no wonder he's so passionate about archaeology. It normally sells for over 30, but since I'm in a good mood today, it's only 29.9. Hurry up and grab it. 3, 2, 1. Link is up. In a fit of rage, I reported the Livestream for false advertising and fabricating identities. But not long after, I received a reply from customer service. Complaint not accepted. This Livestreamer has completed identity verification and there are no issues with false advertising or fabricated personas. Seeing that woman's smug, triumphant smile on the screen, I clenched my fists tightly. How could her identity have passed the verification? She was clearly an imposter. My son is so noble and pure, he should never have his identity smeared by someone like her. Fine. Since going through official channels isn't working, I'll expose her for everyone to see. Chapter 3. I chose to go live and confront her directly. Since you say you're Alex's mother, let's connect and clarify what's really going on. The woman curled her lips in disdain. Fine. Since there are so many people in the live stream today, I'll expose your fake identity in front of everyone and make you give up completely. I tried my best to control my emotions and retorted. Since you claim to be his mother, tell everyone where he is and what he's doing. The woman seemed to find my question ridiculous. My son is an archaeologist. Of course. He's working. He's in X county, X city, where they discovered a 3,000-year-old human civilization. You're lying. I replied coldly. Their team's work has always been confidential. It's impossible for any information to leak before it's completed. Even the family can't talk about it. Finally, there were some different voices in the comments section. Yeah, how could something like that be casually revealed? Even if they told their families, they shouldn't just broadcast it publicly, right? This is like ruining her own son's work. The woman's face changed slightly, but she quickly regained her composure. Sorry. My son told me himself. Their team has finished this archaeological work and is now on their way back to X City. Her answer left me stunned. I didn't know if she was just making things up or if she really had insider information. If it was the former, fine. But if it was the latter, that was chilling. The work my son's team participates in is classified. If their every move is known and publicly spread, that's definitely not a good thing. I could no longer remain calm. I was worried for the safety of the whole team. I couldn't continue asking these personal, confidential questions. When I fell silent, the woman laughed even more triumphantly. Well, asking these pointless questions isn't going to help. How about this? Let's each call someone from his team and confirm who the real fake is. Before I could respond, she casually dialed a number and put it on speaker. Hello, Kevin. This is Alex's mom. I wanted to ask how my son is doing lately. There was a brief pause on the other end before the voice came through. Hello, Alex is doing well. He's the youngest in the team, and we all take good care of him. So don't worry. They exchanged a few pleasantries before hanging up. Once again, the comment section was flooded by her fans. Look! Even the team leader confirmed it. What else is there to say about the imposter? I told you. Alex's mom couldn't be a fraud. Only a beautiful, cheerful woman like her could have a son as amazing as Alex. The voice of this faker is so awful. She must be a hideous monster in real life. Ugly people always cause trouble. Ha ha ha. Of course. There were a few rational bystanders who replied, but their voices were drowned out by the wave of brainless fans spamming the comments. Seeing that most of the people were now on her side, the woman became even more arrogant and smug. She stared at the screen, a mocking smile on her face, and said to me, "Hey, it's your turn to call." I was stunned. I didn't have any of the contacts from my son's team, not even the team leader's number, because he never discussed work matters with me. He would never give me his colleagues' private phone numbers, and whenever my son was sent on an assignment, he would call me to let me know he was safe. I never disturbed him. What should I do? Just as I was at a loss, my phone suddenly rang. Chapter 4. When I saw the incoming call, it was a voice message from my ex-husband, Sam. He hadn't contacted me much over the years, so I thought something important might have come up, and I quickly answered. But I forgot to mute the microphone. Hello, what's going on? Sam immediately picked up on something being off in my voice and became tense. What's wrong with you? Your voice sounds strange. When you called me a few days ago, something seemed off too. What happened? I had been feeling a bit sick these past few days, and my voice was indeed more hoarse than usual. But today, what bothered me more was the anger from these people. I briefly explained the situation, and Sam was just as furious. This is a scammer, pretending to be Alex's mother to sell things on a live stream. Have you tried calling Alex? How does that person know him? Alex's phone hasn't been going through. I spoke a few more words with a heavy heart before hanging up. As my gaze swept across my phone screen, I realized I had forgotten to mute the microphone. The comment section was already starting to argue. Sounds like Alex's dad called. Could she really be the real mom? There's so little information about Alex online. Who knows? From their conversation, it doesn't sound like an act. What's the truth? Anyway, I believe the live stream host, since her son even tweeted in support. Agreed. Believe the host. Just then, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared in the live stream. The woman immediately linked her arm with his and introduced him to the audience. Everyone, this is my husband. He's also Alex's dad. The overweight man hugged the woman's waist and kissed her on the cheek. Sweetheart, is that woman who's pretending to be our son's mother bothering you again? The woman pretended to be wronged. Yes, our son, whom we've raised with so much love, is now someone else's son? Wah. The man gently comforted her, and the two of them put on an affectionate show for the camera. The brainless fans immediately forgot their previous doubts and marveled at the couple's deep affection. They commented that Alex's family atmosphere must be so warm and loving. No wonder Alex turned out to be such an outstanding doctor. Everyone eagerly continued placing orders, clearing out the entire shopping cart. Seeing this, I no longer wanted to argue with them. It was all just ridiculous. Sam and I had been divorced for many years. For all these years, I had been the one raising Alex on my own. I worked full-time, took on side jobs, and made sure he had everything he needed to get through school and eventually become a doctor. Now that my son had finally achieved his goals, I could breathe a sigh of relief. But now, this person was coming out of nowhere, trying to claim my son. Even if she was just pretending to be crazy online, I wouldn't allow it. So I quickly typed a brief message on the screen. Since you refused to back down, fine, I'm calling the police. Chapter 5. The moment I saw the message about calling the police, I noticed a flicker of hesitation in the woman's eyes. The next second, I was kicked out of the live stream. So she really was feeling guilty. I looked at my phone screen with a cold smile, packed my things, and prepared to head to the police station. But just as I reached the door, I found that red paint had been splattered across my front door. The dark red spread across the door in eerie, large patches, dripping down like blood. My heart skipped a beat, and I immediately looked around, but I didn't see anyone suspicious. I instantly connected this incident to the woman online pretending to be me. This was no small matter. This was a crime. Right then, my phone suddenly rang. A message from an unknown number made my blood run cold. I suggest you mind your own business. If you cause this to become widely known, it won't be good for your family or your reputation. An outright threat. I gripped my phone tightly, sweat suddenly forming in my palms. She didn't want me to call the police, even seemed to fear I would, so she resorted to this method to silence me. What audacity! But thinking about how close she seemed to be to Alex, and how she could repeatedly get her hands on photos of him, I felt a cold shiver run down my spine. I had no idea who she was or what her relationship with Alex might be. I feared for Alex's safety. I couldn't afford to make any rash moves. My steps faltered, and I stood frozen in front of the door. Taking a deep breath, I finally went back to my room, feeling frustrated and powerless. No matter what, I needed to wait until I heard from Alex and knew he was safe before I could make my next move. I called Alex again and again, but each time it went to voicemail. Anxiety gnawed at me as I sat in my room, unable to focus. Just then, my ex-husband Sam called. Laura, I've bought tickets to X City. Meet me at the station. Since we can't reach Alex, let's go to his workplace and find out what's going on. I'll be waiting for you at the station. I suddenly felt a sense of clarity. How did I not think of going to Alex's workplace? I had been panicking, reacting without thinking straight. Alex's workplace was in a nearby city, just 2 hours by high-speed train. I immediately began packing my bag, ready to head to the station. But just before I could leave, I heard the door open with the sound of a key turning in the lock. My mind went blank, and my nerves instantly tensed. I was the only one who had a key to the house. Who was it? Chapter 6. The door swung open. My son, whom I hadn't seen in 2 years, suddenly appeared. He was dressed in a windbreaker, his hair a bit messy. He looked exhausted, as though he'd just rushed back. As soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up. Mom! My heart, which had been hanging in my throat, finally settled back into place. But in the next instant, excitement was replaced with worry and frustration. I rushed over and slapped his forehead without saying a word. You little rascal, where did you get yourself another mom? My son, completely dazed, looked at me in confusion. Another mom? Did you get me a godmother or something? Oh right. I heard from our team leader that you called him. Is that true? Is there something wrong at home? I heard the news and rushed back, but I just realized my phone was dead and shut off. Seeing my son like this, I was 100% sure this proud woman was indeed a fraud. I quickly pulled out my phone and showed him the photos I'd saved from her Facebook. Then tell me, what's the deal with these photos? Who is this woman? Why does she have pictures with you? He took the phone, glanced at it, and his face immediately darkened. She's just a crazy woman. In a few short sentences, my son explained the whole situation to me. Apparently, this woman was a cook on the archaeological team. At first, she was nice to everyone, praising them as outstanding professionals of the nation. She'd never met a PhD before, so she often asked to take photos with them. They were just a few photos, nothing to be taken seriously. But it turns out she was planning to use these photos for matchmaking for her daughter. Her daughter had taken a liking to my son, and she tried to play matchmaker between them. However, my son, focused entirely on his work, had no interest in dating. Over time, he started distancing himself from her. A few days ago, while he was napping in the lounge, she even took a selfie with him. When the camera shutter went off, my son woke up. Not only did she not apologize, but she insisted that he would be her son-in-law one day. So what was he afraid of? In a fit of anger, my son kicked her out and reported the incident to his superiors. As a result, the woman was fired. After that, I never saw her again. Who knew she'd still dare to impersonate you? My son was furious. That Facebook account isn't mine either. She not only impersonated you, but also created a fake account pretending to be me. She's really crazy. Once I heard that, I finally felt at ease. Truthfully, I had been worried that she might actually have some connection to my son. But even so, I couldn't let her off easily. Let's call the police, my son decisively suggested. Didn't you say she was using my name to sell stuff? A fraud like her must have scammed many people, and the red paint at the door, if she really did that. She can't escape justice. We were both on the same page, and immediately set off for the police station. But then it hit me, I seemed to have forgotten something. What was it? Never mind. I'll figure it out later. Chapter 7. My son and I went to the police station. We told the officers everything that had happened over the past few days. The police reassured me, asking me to remain calm, and promised to investigate the matter as soon as possible. In the meantime, I changed my phone number and re-entered the live stream. To my surprise, the woman still hadn't learned her lesson. She was still using the title of doctor's mom to sell products. However, the photos of my son in the background were gone, and the pictures of him on her Facebook were deleted as well. She even had the audacity to tell her fans she doesn't want to profit off her son, and doesn't want any delusional women making a play for him. I knew her days were numbered. Like a grasshopper after autumn, she wouldn't be hopping for much longer. I had already taken screenshots of everything she had deleted from her Facebook and the live stream. I handed all this evidence over to the police, Soon enough, 2 police officers appeared in the live stream. XX. You are suspected of identity fraud. Please come with us. The woman, who had been shouting 321, let's go live, was immediately dumbfounded. Her mindless followers in the comments were just as shocked. They watched in disbelief as the streamer was escorted away by the police. The comment section exploded. What the heck? Her identity was really fake? This can't be real. Is it a performance? The police uniforms look pretty legit, not props. Oh my god! I'm witnessing a live arrest of a criminal. Good job! The stuff she was selling was horrible quality. I complained multiple times, but they never listened. Soon, the live stream was forcibly shut down. The police contacted us and revealed that the proud woman was actually named Monica. She had been a cook for the archaeological team. In recent months, she had been live streaming and selling products under the false identity of Doctor's mom. She had even created a fake account using my son's name to open a Facebook account, which she used to further solidify her fake identity. But no one had suspected her before. In fact, her crafted persona had attracted a massive following, and she had made quite a profit. It wasn't until I showed up that she started to feel threatened. She assumed I was another impersonator like her and tried to suppress me by any means possible. It wasn't until she discovered that I really was Alex's mother that she resorted to using threats and vandalizing my door. She truly went to great lengths to cover her tracks. But she was also incredibly stupid. She was willing to break the law just for money. The police told us that Monica confessed everything after her arrest. She even claimed she would apologize to me and my son, hoping to gain our forgiveness. I rejected her outright. I had no intention of forgiving someone like her. To do so would be to aid and abet her evil. She had to face the consequences under the law. Later, I discovered that the Facebook account A Small Ordinary Stone had been deactivated. The Proud Woman account was also shut down. Soon, an official police announcement went viral on the trending list. The content was about how XX had been suspected of impersonating a PhD mother to sell products online, causing significant harm to the public and damaging the reputation of the real individuals involved. The suspect had been arrested, and further details would be disclosed later. Reading the announcement, I let out a long, relieved sigh. Chapter 8. My son and I arrived back at the entrance of the neighborhood. We spotted my ex-husband Sam pacing in front of the gate. As soon as he saw me, his eyes lit up. Laura, I've been waiting for you at the station for ages. But you never showed up. His gaze shifted, and he spotted our son. After a brief moment of surprise, he walked up and slapped his head. Troublemaker, do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused your mom? Our son stared at him, clearly shocked that his father, whom he hadn't seen in ages, had slapped him right away. I quickly pulled him away, stepping in to defend him. This has nothing to do with him. Why are you hitting him? I'm only worried about you. Seeing how angry you were about that woman, I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Sam seemed a little hurt. After hearing what happened, I dropped everything and flew over immediately. But you? You completely forgot about our arrangement. I waited at the train station for hours, and you didn't even pick up my calls. I sheepishly rubbed my nose. To be honest, as soon as I saw our son, I completely forgot about my promise. I had left my phone at home too. Well, the problem is solved now. So let's go home, Alex. I'm making a big dinner tonight to celebrate. Thanks, Mom. Sam hesitantly asked, is there food for me? I gave him a once-over. His shirt was wrinkled, clearly from rushing over. I suddenly felt a pang of guilt and softened a bit. All right, come on then. Sam's face lit up immediately. I walked ahead, thinking about what to make for dinner. The two of them were chatting behind me, back and forth. Just as we were about to reach the entrance to the building, a portly man suddenly rushed out from a side alley. He grabbed me by the throat. Bitch, it's all your fault. You called the police and got Monica arrested. I'll kill you. It was the man from the live stream. His grip was so strong that I couldn't break free, no matter how hard I struggled. In an instant, I felt my breath grow shallow, and my vision started to blur. Just then, someone kicked the man from behind. He was sent flying. Bastard! You've got no limits. You actually want to kill someone? Sam's eyes turned red with anger as he jumped on top of the man, throwing punch after punch. Soon, blood started to spill from the man's face. Our son rushed over and helped me up. Mom, are you all right? I coughed and struggled to catch my breath, finally managing to say, I'm fine. Looking at the man, bloodied and dazed, I hoarsely added, call the police. Get him arrested. The man was quickly detained. Upon questioning, it turned out that he did know Monica. However, he wasn't her husband, he was her lover. This man had a wife and kids at home, and had been secretly seeing Monica for years. His family had no idea. After this mess, his wife immediately divorced him, taking the children and all their assets. The man was sent to jail for attempted murder. As for Monica, her crimes weren't as severe, but she was still charged with inciting others to commit crimes and received legal consequences. She was forced to return the ill-gotten gains and pay compensation for our emotional distress. She was also sent to jail. It seemed like she and her lover had brought this upon themselves. The day I found out about their judgment, I was at the supermarket with my son, picking out vegetables. Pushing the shopping cart, he casually asked, Mom, do you think there's any chance you and Dad could get back together? I can tell he still cares about you. I paused for a moment, my hand frozen over the vegetables. Suddenly, memories of the day we separated came rushing back. We were both young and impulsive back then. We had a petty argument, and before we knew it, we had divorced. It's been so many years since then. Seeing me lost in thought, our son continued, You're all alone at home, and I'm still worried about you. If you're still interested in Dad, I can try to play matchmaker for you. Matchmaker? You're going to play matchmaker? I gave him a look. You're out there all the time, and I'm still waiting for you to find me a daughter-in-law. Stop worrying about me being alone. You should hurry up and give me a grandchild. Our son immediately zipped his lips, making a motion as if to zip up his mouth. I couldn't help but laugh, continuing to pick out vegetables. Let's make sweet and sour ribs tonight. Without waiting for his response, I glanced at him. Remember to invite your dad. He loves it. Our son froze for a moment, his face suddenly lighting up with joy. He nodded eagerly. Got it. I smiled and patted his head, striding ahead. After all that had happened, I could see it clearly now. Sam still cared about me. As for whether we could remarry, well, that was something we'd figure out later.